Hello, my name is Carl Surrey, and this is a video tutorial for the Facebook group called Fans of Serif Software. Now, this will be the beginner's guide, part 15, and it will be primarily be looking at the color range tool. And I'm going to use that tool to help to color pop this image. Now, I have already done a video which showed 3 different ways to color pop images. This is a different way. So, there are more than one ways to color pop an image. And the end result, it will look like this. So you've got the black and white image with all the red, or most of the red, color popped. Now, I will delete this top layer and go back to the original image, and I will start the whole process again. Now, this image, just so you know, is not one I took. It's one I got from a royalty-free image website called pixabay.com, which is well worth checking out. And if you're looking for stock images, then there's plenty of images there that are free to use. Right, so let us start looking at the color range tool. It can be found in the select menu. You come down here, you can see you've got color range, but I won't select it just yet. What I want to explain is, like in the other video I did about color popping an image, I used a pretty simple image of a post box where I changed the red of the post box, and I color popped the red of the post box and did all the background in black. Now, that was easier because the post box has got nice little straight lines and it was easy to cut out or use. But in this case, you got random red blotches on this taxi, and it would take a lot longer to cut out and select, by hand. So this is where the color range tool will help you select the color that you want. So I now will open the color range tool. So select color range, and as you can see, you've got this options box which has a representation of the image that we're going to be working on, and then you have various eyedroppers, color pickers where you can add colors or subtract colors, and you can, if you want, you could pick a color from these options in the drop down menu. And the easiest way to show this would be if you click on put a tick in the show selection box, that image will now be black. So let's, for example, pick reds. It will now highlight all the reds that it sees, and you can't alter the smoothness when you use these presets. So similarly, if I went to yellows, there's not that much yellow in this image. Greens, there's probably next to nothing in green. No, there's no greens. Cyans, again, there's a very faint, I don't know, you probably can't even see this, but there's a very faint bit of cyan. Blues, again, next to nothing. Magentas. Highlights, this is all the light areas. Midtones. And the last one is shadows, which will give some sort of infrared look to it. But I'm going to go back to sample colors. Now, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to click on the plus color picker, add color, And then when I come over to the main image, that color cursor is now on the color picker. So if I click somewhere on the red, and you may need to, you're going to have to click quite a few times, and as you can see, the image is slowly building up over here of the red areas. Now you're going to have to click quite a few times on all the various shades of red that you might want, be it the dark reds like on the back of this taxi, or lighter reds. So the more various colours of red you pick, the better the selection will be. Similarly goes for the red, like the red bus, which is, and like maybe the tail lights, and even the red stop lights. And once you've got a fairly broad selection of reds, or whatever colour it is that you are going to be selecting, you can then alter the smoothness slider, and what this will do is it will pick colours. The higher you raise it, the more colours it will select, but of pixels that are nearer to the ones that you have already pre-sampled. So I don't want to go too high, so I just want to maybe pick a few more pixels beyond the ones I selected. So that will just add a few extra pixels of anything I may have missed that was close to it. Right, for the purpose of my colour pop in this, at the moment what is selected is actually the black areas. The white areas are the bits that are not selected, but they are the ones that I want. So what I'm going to have to do is click invert. So now the black areas, which are the ones I want to select, are now where I were previously white, and then what is now white were the previous black areas. So if I click OK, as you can see now, I've now got the marching ants around the outside, and all this image around here, and the outside is in the selected area, and a lot of the red areas are not selected. So if I then come to the adjustments and click on black and white film, it will instantly turn everything that was not selected into black and white, and all the areas that were selected will be protected by the layer mask, and the red will show through. So that is a better way of selecting a tricky subject, but it's not ideal, it's not perfect. We do need to make some minor adjustments, because you can see that there's some bit of red missing here, and in some cases there may be some red in a building. I'll see if I can find a bit where I may have missed off. You watch, I'm not going to be able to find one. No, quickly looking, I can't see one. But I'll go back to this taxi here, and this area that I've missed off around here. And what I need to do is to click and highlight on the layer mask so it has the white box around it. And I need to have the black as a foreground colour. I'll click on this arrow to make black the foreground colour, and select the brush tool or press B, which it already has, and I will change the brush size up a bit, and then when I paint over that area there, it will bring back the red that was missing. So I can just quickly paint over any red bits that might be missing. And just bring this down a second. See if there's anything I've missed down here. It doesn't look like it. I mean, the closer you zoom in, the more likely you are to maybe just spot a bit of. It's going to be the darker reds or the very light reds that I may have missed because they were probably not so close to the color range. And what I'll do is this red tail light from this car here that's showing through the window, what I'll do is I'll take that out. To do that, I need to swap the colours. So white is the foreground colour, and then when I paint on that, it will remove that from the image because it's painting white onto the layer mask and hiding the effect of the tool. So I'll switch this back to black and continue looking for any areas of red I may have missed. You can lower the brush size by pressing the square bracket keys, the left and right ones, to just quickly lower the brush size. And I think that might be all the bits I need to do. There might be some red in here. Yes, there's some dark reds in here that didn't get selected. I want a bit on the tail light. These are the quite bright reds that didn't get selected because I obviously didn't click on any really bright red areas. So what I will also do is I think I'll take the red out of that bus in the background there because it is slightly distracting. So what I need to do is change back to white as the foreground colour. And then just paint over that bus there. Take out that distracting bit of red and zoom out. And I mean, I will leave that red bus there, and I will leave the red of the tail lights of these other cars and the traffic lights. And that is basically the sort of finish of that process. You can take this a little bit further in that you could tint this black and white, or you can alter the black and white part of it by altering these sliders. I mean, there's not much red of these other colours in the image, but if I lower the yellow down, for example, it will alter the black and white areas, but not the areas that are protected by the layer mask. Let me just bring that back up again. You do also have an option here to alter, sort of add a filter effect. So you've got a blue filter, red filter, yellow filter, green filter, maximum white, black maximum. The yellow one's not so bad. It brings out the highlights the background a bit more, and I think makes the red pop a bit more. You could also use the tint option, and you could make the background sort of like a sepia colour. So the choices and options are quite varied, and it is a different way to colour pop an image than the three that I showed you in the other video. So hopefully you can use the colour range tool especially to make more detailed selections. And I hope you can use this in your future projects. And thank you and goodbye.